Christian, if you were working with Facebook advertising or LinkedIn advertising, and I told you that there is one thing that, regardless of if you're B2C or B2B or what you're selling or who you're selling it to, there is one thing that will always improve your click through rate. Would you then believe me?
Take my money.
Yes. And it's also free. It's actually not paid. So it's even better. You probably wouldn't. But there is actually one thing, and that's what we're going to be talking about this episode. Because there is one thing that you can do across LinkedIn and Facebook advertising, across B2B, across B2C, across any product. I've never seen this not short term improve the results of your advertising. And that's using a different sender or a personal sender for your Facebook advertising. So, can you elaborate? What's the issue
Yeah.
and what are we trying to solve here?
Yeah, because what does this mean? So when you launch new ads on Meta or LinkedIn, 9 out of 10 companies, if not 99 out of 100, they
Yeah.
choose their company page as the sender, and that it's common since that's the normal, that's the standard way to do it. That's what Meta automatically gives you the opportunity to do, and it makes sense. But you might be leaving money on the table by doing this because when
Yeah.
you run Meta ads, you don't have to use your main company page as the sender. You can actually create a brand new Facebook page and then use that as the face of your ads. And Halfdan, why is this a pretty good idea?
Yeah, so the thing is, when we see an ad, we're likely to ignore the message of the ad, even if it's relevant for us, just because it's an ad. And we call this like banner blindness. So if you subconsciously realize what you're looking at is now an ad, you've been trained to just not pay attention to it. So when you're seeing ads before a movie or ads in the pause of your football game, you're like subconsciously trained to just ignore it because that's not what you came for. And it's the same thing happening on Facebook advertising, because when you scroll your feed and you see, okay, Christian, you did something and here's a nice looking cat and here's a funny video. And then you get this ad with like a yellow background and a product image and it says sale. That's not what you logged into Facebook for. So you immediately just scroll on to the next one, despite the product maybe even being relevant to you.
Mhm.
And this is what we're trying to solve for. So what we want is for people to actually pay attention to our ad and see if it's relevant for them. And we kind of need to maybe obfuscate the fact that it is an ad in order for them to do that. And there's this really easy way of doing that, which is not using your company as the center. And just to show an example of how this can be done, here is the current Facebook ads that are running on Obsidian's page. So we have this Facebook page called Obsidian Denmark, and we run some advertising on it and we're spending some money. There's a history of how much we're spending here. This is on marketing-spend.com, which is a tool that we built in order to see how many Facebook ads are running on a given page. And here are some of our ads. When you see these ads, it would be with Obsidian Denmark as the center, and this would be the like logo of the Facebook page. And I gotta admit, it's kind of easy to see that this is a company advertising, right?
This is corporate.
Yeah.
Like this is corporate, and you're used to seeing these ads out there.
And this doesn't have a face. It has a logo. It doesn't have a recognizable name of a person. So like it's really easy for people to see this as an ad and just scroll by. But the thing you can do is create a page for yourself. So this is what we've actually done in our advertising. Like I have a page called Halfdan Timm with my name on it and my face on it. And this has 28 active ads at the moment. So this actually, it doesn't have as many active ads as Obsidian does. Obsidian has 37. But this page is actually spending more money than Obsidian is at
And
this very
creating better
moment.
results.
And yeah, that's the thing. Because when you then see these ads, like they are with me personally, they're usually memes. 2 out of 3 of these images are AI generated, by the way. But when you see these ads, you don't immediately realize that this is a company that's showing you the ad. And that means you're more likely to actually see the ad and read the text and maybe click on the link because you didn't subconsciously immediately start to ignore it.
Yeah, exactly. It creates a pattern interrupt, so it grabs your attention because it doesn't look like a standard ad. It doesn't look like a corporate ad.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can actually also do this on LinkedIn. How do you do this on LinkedIn? Because on here, you don't even have to create a page, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you, as a person, on your personal page, create a post on LinkedIn, a company can actually. I wouldn't use the word boost because it's thought leadership ads, but you kind of boost that post out to people, and then it's you as a person that is a sender of this post.
And that's the thing, and it is called a thought leader ad, which is a big word for it because it's not like all ads using personal profiles are thought leadership. But
That
far,
would be a sin to say that.
far from it, actually. But it's still like the format is actually called a thought leader ad. And the reason why this works is that, well, it's the same thing. You see a person instead of a company, and it'll actually just say, like with a very small font below the actual ad, like this is promoted by a given company. So I actually have an example from my own LinkedIn feed here. And this is not an ad we made, it's just a nice example. So here we have the company EGN Denmark, which is promoting something. But it's promoting from the community director. So you can see, like, it's the profile of Louise in this case, and it's her personal profile. So if I were to click this profile, I would go to her actual profile and be able to connect. And it has her image and everything, but it's promoted by EGN Denmark. So if I go to EGN Denmark and their Facebook page and see all of their ads, this would actually show because it is being promoted by them at the moment. And this just works so much better than if you were to do advertising with your own page, which they also do. So we have these
Yeah.
EGN Denmark, but they also have ads that are promoted by their actual employees. And I would bet you all of my money that I've ever made that the ads that are being promoted by the personal profiles within EGN Denmark, they perform better than the ones that are being promoted with the company page. Like all of the money I would ever make, I would bet on that.
Exactly. And there's a lot of different ways you could do this. So the one we're talking about here and that we just showed before is like the personal page. So in our case, instead of running ads from Obsidian, or instead of only running ads from Obsidian, we actually also run them from your personal page. But we can
Yes.
also be a bit sneaky, a bit tactical about this. So imagine you have an e-com store where you usually put your ads or you use your e-com store page as a sender. You could also, in 2 minutes, create a new page called Best Gift Ideas for 2026.
Yeah.
And then when the pattern interrupt happens and you see the ad, it more looks like a recommendation for the given product than a company trying to push their own product out there.
Yeah, and that works amazingly well as well. Now, there is one drawback to this that we have to talk about because you have to make like a conscious decision of whether this is a good idea to use or not. So the one drawback, because there are a lot of benefits, like you will immediately see higher click-through rate, lower cost per click, and lower cost per acquisition. I guarantee you this will happen. Now, the one drawback is this might hurt the long-term brand building potential of Facebook advertising. So by using my page as the sender, what we're branding is really me. That's great for me, but for Obsidian as a company, it would be better if the branding went through Obsidian. Now, the issue is if we want to create the comparable results with Obsidian as a sender, we might have to spend 2 times as much on Facebook advertising because the results are only half as good. So from a financial perspective, like a financial short-term perspective, this is the better solution. But from a brand building perspective, this might have an effect because there are fewer people who are going to be seeing ads with the company. How would you balance those two? Like, is there always a right answer to whether doing one or the other one is right, or how would you approach this?
I think it depends where you are as a company. So obviously we all want performance, and in this case, we would just put more money into the ads you are standing at the center of. However, we have to remember that there is a brand, and the ads on the Obsidian page are better in terms of building the brand. They are like following the brand guidelines and so on. So I think it's hard to say that you have to spend 60% on the brand or the company page and 40% on everything else. It depends on where you are in your life cycle of the company.
Yeah, I agree. And like for some companies, brand building doesn't really matter that much. To
No.
be honest, like say if you're an affiliate, just doing ads to create like direct and immediate response for a given advertising, you don't care about the long-term branding effect. Like obviously, this is the route that you'd want to go. You can also maybe try and do a combination. So Facebook has this potential for using something called partnership ads, where you might actually be able to do both at the same time. So I can just show you an example of this based on a Danish fashion company called Ida. They make like fashion lifestyle clothes for active women. It's like a really great brand. And as you can see here in their ads library, they have a lot of ads with Ida as the center. But then you also have this one. This is a partnership ad,
Mm.
Sophie with Ida. So this is what we call a partnership ad, and there's like been made a what we call a handshake between the pages. So in this case, we might actually get the best of both worlds because we do get the personal sender. So we get Sophia's name and we get her image in the ad, and that will improve performance. But at the same time, we also get Ida mentioned, and there's a link to the Ida page, so you can go and visit that and follow if you're interested in all of this stuff. So maybe partnership ads are the best of both worlds, if that's an option as well.
Yeah, that's the middle step, right?
Yeah.
So I think a combination of the three of them would be great because
Yeah,
there's
the thing
another
is like
drawback.
partnership ads look more commercial.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And then there's a drawback in creating a brand new page because that it takes 2 minutes. But some people might ask, what about the 0 followers on the new page? If people after watching the ad were to click into the page and see that there's no followers,
Yeah.
it does not matter, to be honest. You are using the page for paid traffic, not organic reach. You are not trying to send people in there. And if they go in there, well, today with AI, you could easily, quickly create some organic posts and create a banner in there and so on, and people wouldn't mind, to be honest.
Yeah. Have I ever showed you how many followers my Facebook page has, Tenyo?
Yeah, now because you have been running ads, but in the start you probably had 0.
In the start, I had nothing. Now I have
Yeah.
2,400 followers. I can actually
Why
tell
haven't
you.
we created a page for me? You just want all the spend
Yeah.
going towards you for your personal
Well,
brand.
I thought that I would have a higher conversion rate than you, and I didn't want to test it and be proven wrong. So yeah, that's the
That's
honest
fair.
answer.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
that's the honest
I
answer.
can live with that.
You have the younger looks, you have the vacation in Spain, you have the bigger muscles. Like I was afraid that if I actually were to test this, you'd probably win. So I didn't. I didn't test it at all. You have the long hair and everything, but
I can live with that.
I have 2,400 followers on my Facebook page, which you don't have. So
And I have.
that's nice. Yeah,
So
that's
who's
nice, right?
laughing now?
Yeah, that's the thing. No, but the recommendation here is clear. If this is something you haven't been working with, you definitely should be because it is like the most immediate hack to immediately improve click-through rate, cost per click, and ultimately cost per conversion in your Facebook advertising. You should definitely try this if you haven't before.